Do you remember in the last video when I talked about how on one plant you can eat the leaves and the stem, and on the other plant you can only eat the stem? Well, there are lots of different parts of lots of different plants that you can eat. So I thought I would talk a little bit about the different parts to the plant. Does anybody know what this plant is called? What I want to show you is how the dandelion can show us all the different parts to a plant. So if we first dig down underneath, we find the dandelion's root. That is this long part here that goes into the ground, and it sucks up water out of the ground so that the dandelion can get a drink of water. There are little roots that come off of this big root. See those little tiny roots? And a long skinny root called a taproot. The dandelion also has leaves, stems, a flower, and eventually the flower turns into seeds. You can see the little seeds coming off of it. And that will make more dandelions. The seeds on that dandelion were all shriveled up, but usually when we think of dandelion seeds, we think of the round, poofy ball. It looks so fuzzy and fluffy, but it's actually made of tiny little seeds. The seeds have little fuzzy tufts on them. Those tufts are made to catch the wind so they can blow far and wide. See the little seed on the end? Whoop, there it goes, blowing away. So when I think of the parts of the plant, I think about all the yummy, yummy food that we can get from it. These are a type of vegetable. Do you remember what these are called? Or what type of vegetable this is? These are carrots. And usually for carrots, we eat the root. So that long taproot that was in the dandelion, carrots also have a taproot. So if I dig just a little ways underground, you can start to see a carrot growing underneath. Do you see that little orange carrot? It will be ready to pick soon enough. Wash it off, wash all the dirt off, and eat. Looks delicious. You can actually also eat the stems and the leaves of carrots, but most people just eat the root. Here are the leaves, and here are the stems. This is a snap pea plant, a sugar snap pea plant. They call it a sugar snap pea because the pea pods are very sweet and delicious. On the sugar snap pea plant, we do not eat the roots. We don't eat the stems or the leaves, but we do eat the pea pods that grow on the plant. Now this plant does not have any pea pods yet. Right here is a flower, and that flower someday will fall off when it starts to form a pea pod. So the pea pod will grow right here, and it'll grow and it'll grow, and the flower will keep turning into the pea pod, and it will be a delicious long green pod. There are lots of plants that we eat the leaves of the plants. This is kale, Swiss chard, This is another type of Swiss chard. It has yellow stems instead of red stems. We also eat the leaves of lettuce, and we can eat the leaves of broccoli, although I like to wait for the big broccoli head to form. For all of these plants, you can eat the leaves, but most people eat the roots. These are beets, and the roots are still starting to form for these. Turnips and radishes. Oh, look. Do you see that radish growing out of the ground? Those look delicious. Those are about ready to pick. We know they're about ready to pick because they're peeking up out of the ground. I'm so glad that we have so many different types of plants that give us food to eat. Otherwise, dinner would be pretty boring. The next time you eat a fruit or vegetable, why don't you think about, am I eating the stem, the leaves, the root, or the fruit?